Hi, welcome to the On Impact Podcast, and I'm Benny Pough. Today, man oh man, I'm meeting with the Senior Director of Retail and Operations at Cookies. Freddy Cameron Jr. is a retail leader and has an incredible career in retail and consumer products. Freddy has over 20 years of experience leading large to mid-sized retail operations with over $20 billion in sales, working for notable companies such as Costco, Walmart, Sam Club. Cookies is the most globally recognized cannabis company in the world, and Freddy oversees 100 stores worldwide. My man, Freddy Cameron Jr., welcome.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Nah, thank you for coming, man. And the obvious thing is, sure, we're gonna touch the cannabis space, but we're gonna get into who you are first. And I think I wanna go all the way back to the Bay, because we share a lot of commonality as well. Like, I don't know how many people know or not, you started in music.
Music, yeah.
As well as, you come from a very famous lineage in music.
You going there?
I'm gonna tell bro, I wanna get it first, right?
Okay.
Come on, man, give it to us. Give it to us, Roy. You wanna bring that royalty piece out, because you know what? I grew up loving your cousin, man, and obviously there's no, listen, hip hop wouldn't be, especially the stunt game and the professionalism and how shit came together without Hammer. Just wouldn't, man. Hammer was probably the first to have like two planes and and Lewis, Lewis is my man. Shout out to Lewis Burrell.
Yeah, shout
King
out to
of the
Lewis.
streets. Yeah, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's start from the music roots and then get into the rest of it.
Well, so MC Hammer is my cousin.
Yep.
And definitely blessed just to, see his career, learn from the mistakes and the positives, and I don't know, like just seeing his rise, but kind of going beyond that, like my brother like really got me into the Bay Area scene of music, from not just MC Hammer, but the Too Shorts of the world, the E40s, and Drew Nows. Like I remember my brother just buying all the tapes, and we just listening the music like all day long at night. It was forbidden back then, where mom found out, she gonna take it and smash it
and tear that butt up.
Yeah.
we used to get spankings for listening
Absolutely.
to worldly music.
Absolutely. But the music, like, because of my brother and me listening to the Bay, listening to those hip hop artists from the Bay, Hammer, his experiences, I wanted to be in the music business, not as an artist, but the person that can find the talent and help the labels, be successful in that way. Right. Never had an interest in doing anything else but finding talent, putting all the different people together to make the songs and the record. Because I saw the people around him doing it, and I thought that was fun, right? So I remember kind of fast forward, finishing high school, and then I ended up getting a paid internship at Interscope.
Which is crazy. Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me about that, because what's so nuts, we were actually in the building the same time and didn't know that.
Santa Monica, Colorado Ave. Yeah.
2200 Colorado.
Yeah. So I was still in the Bay, and I was going to a junior college.
Gotcha.
And I remember just applying for different, record companies, from Sony, like all of them, like every last one. I didn't want to move to New York. I'm like, I'm a Cali guy, so let me stay here in Cali. So I'm like, but I gotta go to LA. And I remember, close friends and family like knew how bad I wanted to get to LA. And kind of going to my retail, I was working at Costco in the Bay as I was doing, pursuing the internships at the record company.
Stop real quick there, because, I speak with a lot of kids and also postgraduates, folks just trying to figure out, they don't understand. I just had a conversation with someone this very morning on the commitment that goes into success. Like, people think you can just dial in, success.
Yeah.
They forget, like you said, you were in the Bay and you was doing an internship, right? You was working at Costco's and interning. So, folks, especially, all they do now is dial into social media and look at people's successes.
Yeah.
No one's failures, right? It's all right now.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
So I ended up transferring to a Costco here in LA. So I would, push carts and do all the the low level retail stuff, cashier, forklift, stock the shelves, and get off work. Cause I was going to work at like 4 in the morning. So I would get off around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, change my clothes in the car and drive right to Colorado Ave in Santa Monica and work in the office of Jimmy.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. Nobody's business.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
That's right.
And I put in 100% on the retail job and 110% at the record label and did that for years.
You know what's crazy about that is I talk about that in my book. It's 2 Plan Ace. When you commit it full time, you have no option but to succeed in both.
Absolutely. And that's how I felt like if the music thing doesn't work out, I can fall back on this. Or if the music thing works out, then I did my part working in retail. Because I always envisioned myself to be greater at just a purpose, have a purpose in life and really make my mark in society. And I thought initially it was going to be in the music side of the business. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of how I got into music. It started with Hammer, the Bay, the E40s of the world, the Too Shorts, all the Bay artists love the music and then, want to do that for a career. But retail was always in the background and I was good at it. I was really good at it. I love the customer service piece of it. Love the people I work with. And Costco I was at Costco, so Costco does a really good job, really training, not just the leaders, but the employees. I mean, they paid you well. I mean, I was making more money working at Costco one period, than my boss at the record company.
Wow.
Yeah. Working.
Hold on. So while you were doing both, at one point you decided the music that you went full on Costco?
Full on Costco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I mean, I ain't gonna go into the whole
Not the detail, but I mean, how did you just ramp up in that business that you decided to make the choice, I'm not pursuing music? Because most people would do it in reverse, right?
Yeah.
Most people who are trying to get in the music space are gonna do something else till music takes off. You decided this music thing is cool, I'm going this way. And obviously that paid off. So that says a lot about intuition.
So, again, love it to this day, still got friends that work in it. It's just, I just saw things that just didn't sit well. I mean, I wouldn't go into details,
Of course not.
I just knew that, my beliefs and, my character as a black man, especially, some things were aligned with that. And I felt like I would have had to compromise my beliefs just to be successful in certain parts of it. But then I just really had a passion for the retail
sales.
space.
You just love
I loved it.
business.
Yeah.
You love retail.
Yeah. I felt like working in the store level, with the customers, and then the vendors and all the other different people that work in the retail space, I had fun and enjoyed it. And I felt like I was happier, doing that work versus the music. So I'm like, you know what? My goal has always been at the label, to help find talent. I'm like, I can do that on the retail side. So help that single mom, that might make a lemonade or, a dip or some sort, help them perfect it and then help them get into the retail space to sell it. And I just took that sort of a thought process and say, you know what? Let me just put all my eggs in this retail basket and do that. Find talent, but the talent is the suppliers that want to get in to the retail space, especially people that look like me, and women, just all the whole diversity and inclusion type of suppliers, really work with them to get them in a level where they can compete, in a Costco. And I remember when I made that decision, I remember going to my boss the very next day, hey, I'm all in, let's go.
Wow.
I want to do this. How do I move up to the highest levels I possibly can in a month?
Wow.
He's like, about damn time that, you come to me now, let's go, let's get to work. And from that moment on, just the training, around. So Costco trains its leaders in a servant leadership capacity. So if you are not
I heard you say that.
Yeah, if you are not a servant leader,
leadership, that's important.
Yes. Yeah. So so a service leadership. So really the thing is, do the task that your subordinates would do. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Right.
That's right.
Roll your sleeves up. So Costco really wants their leaders to operate in that capacity, and from leadership to different management styles. I feel like I was in school. So I got a PhD in retail ops and merchandising just from and Costco has a Costco University. Like there is a Costco University that they teach you how to be a good manager, good leader, you know, your finance, like all the different things that go into running the business. Like Costco teaches you that as you just, you know, you move up through the leadership ranks.
So as you were developing through, I don't know anything about the inner workings of Costco's other than they oxtails is off the meat rack, right? People don't even know, like, Costco's got the best oxtails.
And ribeyes. Ribeyes too.
Ribeyes as well? Yo, let me tell you, oxtails is like $8.99 a pound, right? But anyway, not to digress.
I know,
but,
right?
The crazy thing is going through the Costco system, and obviously all of this is gonna roll. That seems to have been your fertile training ground. How did you deal with, or does it even occur, like being that only one in the room? Like, yo, that minority in such a behemoth.
Yeah.
And how do you move and talk and structure? And what lends you to that success? Because obviously it worked for you. And anyone who doesn't know you, you just a straightforward true. You true and true. Like you don't faux fake. You not like you just who you are.
Well,
so how do you adjust in that kind of environment?
And I had good, you know, I'm not gonna take all the credit, but I had good, you know, management that you know that I reported to. And one thing that a manager, his name was Mike, he used to tell me, be a student of the business. And to that day, that still resonates with me. So don't come in. You may have the better answer, but listen first. And then once, you know, you listen, you're an active listener, right? You listen to what's being said. Let the ones in the room that it's their sort of responsibility to make the decision. Then don't be afraid to chime in with your idea, but let them go first. And from there, you'll build sort of a reputation for, you know, to give great ideas for certain things that may come up. So let's say, you know, there was a product. It was like a hummus dip. So I knew it was a good item, right? But they were talking about other different brands, and I let the room speak. And then I'm like, hey, can I chime in on, you know, something that I came across? And then once I kind of did it that way, then it was like, okay, well, Freddie has great ideas. What do you got? And now I became the third person to speak, or the second, the fourth, the first. Once I got to the first, like I know, like I had, you know, the group. So I kind of had to play my role at first, even though I wanted to just go in there and just hit the ground running. Yeah,
listening's important.
But again, active listening, being an active participant in the room, and just learning from all these people in the room. Obviously, they're there for a reason, right? So I have to learn from them. Again, being a student of the business. So once I kind of did that, like everything started to fall into place. And, you know, but you ever heard the term closed mouths don't get fed?
Absolutely. Closed mouths
don't get fed.
That's right. The old folks talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes,
so one thing that, you know, and I tell this to anybody that want to move up in a company or just do something great in the business, you have to let the right people know what you want to do. You can't expect them to know what you want to do. You have to go tell them. I remember telling, you know, a senior leader at Costco, like, I want your job one day. How do I get that job? And they're like, damn, okay, I like that. Like, you know, you are letting me know you want to move up. Okay, now let me put you to the ringer and get you ready so you can take my job one day. And I think ever since my career, and I tell people this day, like, if I didn't work for Costco, I would not be where I'm at right now. Wow. That's how, you know, respect I have for the company. They really trained me in just my style of how I operate with my team, the way I build stores, the way I help suppliers. It's all because of, you know, Costco.
So that's the first billion-dollar entity, right? You've been a part of. How did the next, right? Because now you're the billion-dollar guy. You go from one entity to the next, which people, you know, it's a lot to actually do the work to get the rewards. And that road you travel, I guess sometimes is lonely, right? You by yourself to a degree, right? And resources are important as you develop in anything else. So now, how did you get to, you know, Costco's is over here, right? Sam Club, Walmart's here, right?
Yeah. Totally different business.
Yo, totally different.
Totally different business.
And now you're like in the biggest globally recognizable brand in a booming business, right?
Yeah.
Which started one way, which is now about to be, I think I read somewhere in 2030, cannabis in the U.S. will be somewhere like a $70 billion business.
Yeah.
And that's all that they reporting, right? Because we know if
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
70,
yeah.
however, right? Well, whatever, right? But
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly, yeah.
How did you do that? How did that happen? How did all of that come together?
Yeah, so it's funny, every time I speak somewhere or go meet people, they're like, if Costco's such a great company, why did you leave?
Right.
Like, Costco is an amazing company, but it's kind of like once you get to a certain level, there's a lot of people in front of you to get the next sort of promotion.
It's like the military.
Yeah.
Like, it's your turn.
Yeah.
You get the payoff in 25 years for the hard work.
And I ain't got that kind of time. So I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm going to wait no 20 years to
Right.
get promoted. So I'm like, you know what? Benny was so bad, I went to a therapist when I decided to leave. So I remember talking to the therapist. She's like, well, you seem like you're super ambitious. Costco's been good to you, so maybe you can just take what you learned there and apply it somewhere else. And I'm like, okay. So Sam's Club kind of already reached out to me, and what got me impressed with Sam's Club at the time, it was the first African-American female CEO, Rosalind Brewer. So that impressed me. Her executive vice president, Don Frison, was black. So, I mean, she had a squad of like black leaders in there. I'm like, oh my God, like this is impressive. And then so Rosalind Brewer's husband was a part of the 100 Black Men of America. And, at the time I was doing work with them, and that was the connection right there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm all in. Let me go to Sam's. And of course they want a Costco guy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Give us
like
some
Sam's
secrets.
Club, it's,
Of course.
Yeah, so Sam's Club is Costco's biggest competitor,
Right.
but Costco doesn't see them as competition. Right. Sales are like night and day, right? But they jump at the chance to have me in. And as soon as I got there, I met all the leadership at Sam's Club, and they just welcomed me in. So of course they wanted all like the little nuggets around Costco, but no matter how many nuggets I provided them, they can never be Costco. No. But at least they can make an attempt. No. But the biggest thing Sam's Club really wanted to, at the time, what they wanted to do. So Costco has a really thriving private label brand, Kirkland Signature. I'm sure you've seen it.
Of course.
Those oxtails say Kirkland Signature.
Of course.
Yeah. So they do an amazing job branding their private label.
Right.
It's to the point where people think that the Kirkland brand is the premium brand over the national brand. Like my mom to this day, hey, go give me some of them Kirkland paper. Even I worked at Sam's Club. Give me some of them Kirkland paper towels.
Right.
At Sam, I'm like, Mom, that's Costco. I'm at Sam's Club. But the people just resonate with the brand. So that was the one thing that Sam's Club wanted to know for me. Like, since I was involved in those conversations around private label, like, why is it so successful at Costco? And, and be in the room with the C-suite of Walmart, Sam's Club, and them just asking me questions about, Costco was like, man, I feel like I made it. Like this is like Walmart, like executive leadership. And I'm in the room, in the C-suite having a conversation about Costco. Like, that's when I knew, like, okay, I made the right decision coming, this coming. And I just made a point to make as many friends within the organization as I can. So Sam's Club is a sister company to Walmart. Walmart's the parent. So I made sure I made friends on both sides. Gotcha. So, one thing I've always been a champion of is supplier diversity. So, if I came across a woman, minority, someone with a disability, veteran, I had the ends to help those people get their stuff into a Walmart or a Sam's Club because I made that connection with that team that specializes in it. So, but
that's a tricky process.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's a small window. It's kind of like records. Right?
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
And you equate like products. I don't think most folks understand how products truly work on how they get into outlets, but also that there's a window of performance.
Absolutely.
Right? It's just like a record. When it goes on the air, it better it better respond.
I mean,
when
it's like
when you download, it better happen. And sometimes you don't want to go too fast.
Yeah. One thing, and I'll give your listeners and viewers a little tip. So one thing about Costco is they expect you to have results within 30 days, right? So if your stuff does not sell within 30 days, You know, you go to Costco, you see that asterisk on the sign, like in the right-hand corner.
Course.
That means it's going away, right? So, or if the dollar amount on the sign ends in a 7, that means it's going away.
Yo, it's almost night.
So you really got 30 days to prove yourself that you're worthy to stay in their supply chain, right?
Got you.
So Costco would do everything they can to really help you, you know, be successful. So if you make something, let's say it's a food item, you know, Costco has, everybody loves the demos, right? You walk into Costco, you literally get a whole meal just walking around.
Right.
So they encourage suppliers to do that as a way to get your stuff, because Costco has, you know, thousands of traffic, like customer traffic coming through every day. So, but if you are not selling within, you know, the 30 days, like they see you as a bust in some cases.
Plus, the line is so long.
Yeah, there's so many people.
There's so many people working.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, the beautiful thing about what happened with music to a degree, right? You know, what side of the argument you're on is that the store became digital. So it's just fast now. But the problem is, as opposed to a Costco where it's brick and mortar, so when we need the space. So somebody's taking a space for somebody else. But the problem that happens with the music is, you can put it into the store, but nobody's listening.
Exactly.
Because you can't gin up the momentum, which obviously happens, you know, in the retail space as well.
Yeah, so, you know, kind of going back to my career trajectory. Right. So, Sam's Club, and then I ended up leaving. So Rosin Brewer left, Don left. So all the people I thought were like, wow, like black folks, leadership, leaving. So I'm like, I think it's time. Right. And then the company just started changing. So whenever, you know, think about Walmart. If Walmart has a bad quarter, then everybody has to pay for the price of the sins of Walmart, right? So Walmart has a bad quarter, all their subsidiaries have to start making adjustments, right? I get it, but it just wasn't fun anymore. So, you know, not to speak ill of the company, but I wanted another challenge. So I don't think I even told you this. I ended up taking a job at the Salvation Army after that.
In what capacity?
So, you know, Salvation Army has their thrift stores.
Right.
So I oversaw all the thrift stores on the West Coast.
So you really you really serious about production. Get out of here.
Yeah, so I ended up doing that. And I felt like I wanted to do something that can cleanse my soul after working for
Right.
But, you know, the thing about thrift retail is it's all donated. You know, this entire couch we're sitting on can be donated, no cost to the thrift store, right? And then they sell it and make a profit. Like, they didn't have to buy it. You gave it to them for free.
Gave it to them.
Yeah.
So everything is revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is revenue.
Yep. It's a $2 or $3 billion business. It might be more than at the time I was doing it, but it was probably the largest logistical operation I've ever ran. Like, from the donation centers to the stores, awesome, you know. But I fell in love with cannabis after that.
How?
You know, so
how were you introduced?
Just through friends, and you know, I don't know. Like, I just kept hearing all the benefits of it, the whole CBD, the THC side of it, and just people. There was a person I knew that had really bad chronic back pain, a friend of mine, and he smoked every day. Once he realized that it was going to help him with his chronic pain, and from that, like, he got better. And I'm like, wow, this is intriguing. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, wow. Like, I want to learn more about this. So, you know, through a mutual friend, a network, whatever, end up getting a job at a startup cannabis company. I won't mention their name, but all I can tell you is 160 million gone in a year. Russian died, and just inexperienced people running the business. And that almost got me out of the industry completely, because it was just such a shit show.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you know, so people came into this business and, you know, from big companies like myself, and we had all the intentions of the world to make this successful, but I felt like the leadership and the Russian funding was not aligned with what we wanted to do. So, kind of fast forward, and I ended up leaving, and then ended up going to another company, to run retail operation. It was a juice beverage company. And then
Cannabis.
Yeah.
Juice company.
Yep. And then
now
Cookies called me. Then Cookies called me.
What was that like?
So I was skeptical. I had this bad experience
in
cannabis. I'm like, oh, not another one. And literally that was my thought, like, oh, okay, what do you guys want? Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm like, you know, and my best friend, he always just keeps it real. Like, dude, doesn't hurt to have a conversation with.
Absolutely.
You know, all you can do is just say no or yes, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me talk. So I ended up talking to, you know, one of the leaders at the company, and kind of went into it thinking the worst, right? And it was probably one of the best conversations I've had in a long time.
Wow.
Like, you know, this person came from a management consulting firm who now over operations and marketing at Cookies. And I remember talking to her like, wow, like this, she's awesome. Like, okay, I want to talk to somebody else now. So now I'm fully engaged. And I'm like, everybody I spoke to, like, we're on top of it. I'm like, yes, I've heard of Cookies because I'm from the Bay Area. But everybody I spoke with during that process, I'm like, wow, you guys are on top of it. Like, I think I could do this. Like, you know, and I remember just having conversations with pretty much everybody in leadership there, even people on the lower level, right? I just wanted to hear their take. And it was just a breath of fresh air. Like, number one is the company actually makes money. Then two, just the processes and the people
How does that work? So for the novice, right? We only know what we know or what we see or what we think. Most people just think about cannabis.
Yeah.
And also just think that everyone that touches and deal with it, money is just flowing.
Yeah.
Which I would imagine now with the regulations, and it's a different business than from the people who were arrested for cannabis, right?
Yeah.
Which is part of where does it go? Right? So there were people who actually was doing the business when it was illegal.
Yeah.
Are there opportunities for those folks?
Absolutely.
Now, programs for those people? And if I'm seeing this, and I want to talk to you about it, meaning we're going to talk about this from an investor standpoint, because think about it. Black folks, we miss, we miss alcohol, we miss gambling, we miss, and we missed it. We weren't invited to the table.
And we're the largest consumer of it,
The
right?
largest of it. And now with cannabis, where are we in the curve of all of this, right? So I think you could probably shed a lot of light on those touch points, right? To a degree.
Yeah, and one thing that impressed me with Cookies, they do have, you know, what we call a social equity program. So they do work with people that, you know, are convicted of cannabis crimes. And there's people that just want to, you know, get in and then help people that are minorities get licenses and work with those people, and then work with them with our team to kind of get them educated on opening stores and just running the business. I know we have a person in our company that runs that program, and she's always doing the different events around still the social equity side of the business. And that was probably one of the best things that impressed me with the company, that they had sort of a focus
and outlet
around
for folks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And even like states now that legalize cannabis, like there's a bunch of them now, especially like in, you know, here in California, New Jersey, New York. Like, they're really trying to help people, you know, that are in the social equity sort of, you know, category, you know, black and brown and, you know, minority, to get the licenses first before, you know, the big multi-state operators come in and take over. So that's
kind of tricky though.
It is.
It's kind of tricky, meaning, and I'm delving, I'm still top line with it, but there was like a window where the license opportunities exist.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to shrink.
Yeah.
Right? It's getting tighter. So
here's the thing, like it's a business, right? Just because you get the license, you still need to have at least a couple $1 million to build out the store, you know, build up your supply chain, train your employees, hire your employees, like marketing, branding. Yeah.
It's a real
So I can get the license.
Right.
Let's say I got the license, you know, I was convicted of a crime in cannabis, right? Now I'm out. I live in this, say, Compton or whatever here in LA. I got a license now. I don't have, you know, $500,000 to build out a store. I don't have, you know, $50,000 to sign this lease and pay the monthly, so a lot of times
So how does the funding work if people can't go to banks, right?
they have to go to a private, you know, angel investor.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So you need to know somebody with some bread.
pretty much. Yeah.
Once you get the license, now you got to go get on your bike
Yep.
and find people with some money.
And what I'm seeing, you know, especially with black and brown people that are in cannabis, like their stores, like I'm all about the aesthetics, right? Like I just building stores, opening stores, laying out stores. Like I'm all about how things flow as far as from a customer's perspective. you go to some of these dispensaries that are from these applicants, the Social Equity Act, a lot of them don't have the experience of like setting up a store, the fixtures, like all the different things that go into that. And sometimes when I go in, it's like, hey, let me just like shake them like this is how you're supposed to set up your store. You have too much stuff. If you have too much stuff, you get people the opportunity confused to buy. If there's like 8 different things of the same thing, right? But a different brand, they gotta choose now because if there's too many choices, they may not choose at all. And I'm seeing that with a lot of these different, cannabis one-offs type of stores that don't necessarily know how to set their merchandising plan, what products to bring in, So I know I try to do my part to educate people if I do come across, people, black and brown folks that are in the space. But going back to Cookies has that platform for me to talk to people like that, along with my team and everybody else in the company to help them, along the way. And that's probably one thing I love about the company.
So you guys have over 100 stores.
Yeah.
How's that management process?
So we have, full converted stores, and then we have what we call the micro stores. We call them Cookies Corners. So it might be, let's say Benny has a dispensary. We may have a store inside of your store.
Gotcha. So
we have, those types of stores as well. So that's kind of brings our store count to a little over 100. But, I can't take all the credit. I have a good team. Right. So, my team consists of, regional managers. We have, ops support. So the operation support, it kind of helps with, the operators of stores, the team, training development. And then I have a person that is dedicated to, being the project manager to help with the new store opening process. And then design and construction falls under me as well. So I actually have a team of design and construction that literally have general contractor sort of, past experiences, construction management that are on my team that can, build out stores and build them fast too. So like turnkey. Wow. So they build it. And then once the retail turnover part happens, it goes to the ops team. The ops team comes in and sets it up. Then marketing comes in and does their thing. And stores open, burner comes, 1,000+ people outside, we open. Then we move on to the next one.
So you said it's a mini. Would that be similar, or do you guys think about, since the space itself isn't designed on how to have a high-end product like you?
Yeah.
You guys ever thought about franchising?
Kind of do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like if let's say you have a license, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you're like, what? I think I need to brand it as a cookie because I know people know cookies,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that, hey, if I'm a cookies, I'm going to get the business.
What to expect.
Yeah. So we do that.
Gotcha.
Majority of our stores are that model.
Gotcha.
So we work with people like you that just may have the license and, you may have the capital
Mm-hmm.
and you just don't have the experience in running. Like my team will help you, like, everything from scheduling your employees to your operating hours to, planning your menu, right? Which is all the different products, from vapes to flour to the different manufactured goods. Like we will work with you to make sure you have the best possible products in your store.
And the that's not the only avenue of the business, right?
No,
that's not the only revenue stream.
No. So
What
it's
else?
the retail stores as a whole, obviously, right?
McDonald's model.
Yeah. And then our products, right?
And the products.
So we have, like I said, all the manufactured cannabis products, vapes and, we have beverages to pre-rolls to the flour to accessories, right? Like the trays and ashtrays, whatever, lighters. And then we have an apparel line too. So I'm actually wearing one of our Princess of Cookies jacket. So
that's a dope ass jacket.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So that's another
Give
part
me
of
my
it.
address. But anyway, go ahead.
I got you, brother. I got you. But, so that's the one thing that works in our favor is, we have the cannabis, but we also have, our clothing side of the business too. So, for example, the laws have to be, obviously the cannabis laws vary per state, right? Mm-hmm. But in some cases, what we would do, we would go in and open a clothing store first, a Cookies clothing store, until the laws change that allows
Make a revenue.
Yeah. So at least we already have a presence in that,
Right.
in that community. So for New York, we recently did that. It was a clothing store at first, in New York Herald Square. And then, it turned into a dispensary once the laws sort of were in favor. Then, we just switched it. So that's sort of like one of our models to like really get ourselves out there. But the clothes work in our favor. Like when I was speaking at your conference, I went to in Charlotte. We went to Whole Foods.
Right.
I saw 2 little kids, like had to be no more than 14 or 15, with hoodies on and a backpack. And we don't have a presence in Charlotte at all.
Wow.
Not the state, period. So when I see that, I smile because it lets me know how powerful the brand is on a global level, right? So that people can wear our clothes and it's cool. And it's kids, I'm sure their parents had no clue what Cookies is when they bought them, the hoodie and the shirt and the backpack. They thought, my son wants this, I'm gonna buy it. But we know the truth what that is. But I see that, it just lets me know, like, wow, like I'm a part of a movement. Like it's cool to wear Cookies clothes. Like, you have rappers, you have producers, you have, all kinds of people. I gave my mom a Cookies hat. She wore it to church, and she said, "Oh, Freddie, the kids love my hat. You gotta give me another one." She didn't know what it was, right? And I said, "Mom, I gotta tell you something." So I told her I'm in the weed business. She's like, "Oh my God,
Take your hat back, baby."
I said, she still wear it too. But that's the power of Cookies, right? Mm-hmm. Like, to be blessed with the opportunity to oversee all these different stores, work with amazing people, our vendors, suppliers. Damn, my team. Like, I got the best team in cannabis. Like, my job is, as a coach, is just make sure they have what they need and I support them, and they'll do the work, on a 100 times better than anybody else.
What about the medical piece?
So we have stores like Florida, for example. We have stores that are, because Florida is a medical only market. So you need
different rules?
Yeah. So you need to have
different rules?
So you need a medical card to go into the store. So, we'll work with like a local office to help make the process easy to get a medical card. Mm-hmm. But again, the play is to get in there now. Then once the laws change, hopefully the laws in Florida change, fairly soon. But the goal would be to get in that market. And then once the laws change, then, we're already there. All we got to do is just flip the switch and we're good to go. But at least we already, have our presence in a particular market as to who we are and what we do. So when it does become recreational, where anybody can just walk in with a driver's license, if they're over the age of 21, then they can go in and buy something. That's sort of the plan.
I heard that Berner actually names every strain.
He names every strain.
That's crazy,
every strain.
Bro.
Yeah, every one. So think about Berner that I love so much. The guy's a genius, by the way. Our CEO, mm-hmm. He's very creative. Like this, I think his mind like works in like, colors, right? And shapes and mm-hmm. like just always thinking like creative ways, as far as content, right. Products, the packaging, like all that stuff. He's involved in all of it. And it really does give it like that special attention that it deserves. And I think that's why you can say like our products are more on the premium side, because you have the special attention from the founder CEO, like really blessed. We call it the Berner blessing, right? He blesses it, now it goes to the store, and now it moves, out the store. So by him doing that, I've never seen a CEO I've ever worked with be so involved, in sort of the products of the store. So when we opened the Melrose store here in Los Angeles, the second Melrose location, mm-hmm. first one closed down due to, landlord not wanting to renew the lease. But Berner was involved in like the plan of the products, what we call the menu, just picking everything just based on what he believes is, number one, the best products in the market, and then really creating new things from manufactured products to new flower strains. Mm-hmm. He want the Melrose store to be now the Cookies flagship. So he handpicked everything.
Wow.
And my team worked with him to make sure that those things are represented in the store when we open. And to this day, they're still there, flying off the shelves.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in most businesses, there's been like real in-depth conversation about AI.
Yeah.
Right? Like how AI, everyone's afraid mm-hmm. to one degree or another. Do you see it impacting your business at all?
It's funny you mentioned that. So I'm actually testing something in our Melrose store. So So the AI.
Can you share?
I can share, yeah,
All right,
no
let's
problem.
see that.
Yeah, basically it's like a product recommendation. So let's say you come into the store, based on sort of your sales history, it can make those recommendations on what you think what it thinks you would like.
So is a QR code when you walk in, like how would they know me before my purchase?
Yeah, so basically you have to check in. So
So you're checking.
You have to check in, so they know you're there,
Got you.
right?
No, you got it.
And then they can see like, okay, Benny bought gummies.
Right.
Benny bought, like, let's say all you buy is edibles, right? You don't buy any flour. So they're gonna recommend any new, the technology will recommend any new edible, or may recommend some new things that you might want to try that might kind of fall into the edible category. But let's say it's, I don't know, a tea. We do some stuff with Erykah Badu. She has a tea, right? A bunch of CBD products in addition to tea. It may recommend that stuff to you, but that's sort of how we're working with AI to really, make sure that, number one, we're capturing customer data, right? But then the customer data is being used to make sure that you can, see recommendations based on your preferences based on past, purchase history.
How do you determine, because you just said Erykah Badu, right? How do you determine, because I'm sure every athlete, every celebrity, everybody who just smokes all day, every day, thinks they can either create a strain or they should be representing the brand. What is the process with that?
Well, first of all, Erykah, I love you so much. Like, you are awesome for the brand, and just thank you for being who you are, Clint.
Right. She is, she's phenomenal.
The thing that for us, like, it has to be authentic. So, like, for example, like, Burner is about the culture. He's about that life, right? It makes sense. So, when you see some of these celebrities getting involved in this space, it has to be believable. Long time ago, I'm kind of going back, I remember a R&B singer from a group back in the 80s who still is relevant today, pitched me a barbecue sauce. And it was not believable.
I know exactly who that is. I know exactly who it is. Right.
It was not believable.
Right.
Like, come on, dude. Like,
Not for you.
Yeah.
No.
But, customers are not stupid, right? Like, if you are known for this, right, it will resonate with customers, and it'll be a true sort of interaction with the brand from a customer perspective, because they know that you are authentic to that brand. If you are not, they will see right through it and it won't move. So that's how it is with cookies. So with the Erykah Badu collab, like, she's about that life. Like, she smokes, like, she smoked. And she's just another creative spirit. She's kind of on a creative level like Burner. Obviously, they're a little bit different, right, music-wise, but the way their mind thinks about products and innovation and just always trying to evolve what they've already done already, it made sense for us to collab with Erykah Badu on her product, That Badu. That's what it's called in the stores. So really, they need to be authentic to the culture, right? It needs to make sense. There was a singer-songwriter that wanted to work with us, like, just because she just wanted to be in the space, didn't make sense. Like, you're not about that life, right? So we tend to work with people that, again, are authentic to the culture, the cookies fans and customers will resonate with, and just people that we know are going to hustle and put in that work, not just, we do business with you and just, that's it. Like, you just collect the check. Nah, you got to put in that work. We also
and that goes both ways, though, right?
That's
not just with
absolutely.
That's just not with the cannabis end. It's also with the retail, the merchant as well.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same kind of sifting through process of what fits.
Yeah, and then we also have a collab with Gary Payton from,
of course,
former NBA player, Oakland, right? Authentic, like, he's about that life.
He's about it.
It's funny, like, I'll go to different places, like, the popular shoe store here in LA, Cool Kicks. I walk in and like, hey, what's up with that Gary Payton, Freddy? I'm like, man, like, you're like the 10th person, man, we love that. All we want is Gary Payton. Hey, I'll give you, some shoes, you give me a Gary. Like, that's how I know that, again, like, some of these strains are popular just based on where you go and people know where you are. They'll reference to, hey, man, I love that Badu gummies. Like, oh, I love her tea. Oh, man, I can't sleep. I drink that Badu tea. That tea is good, by the way. Yeah. But,
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, but again, like, that's how we work with, we really think it through, and it just needs to be like an authentic sort of a collaboration. It can't just be, hey, I just want to throw my name on a pre-roll or something. It doesn't work. Like, they have to be about that life. Because Erykah, she will go to a store and sign autographs for a new drop. that she's doing with us. She'll go to multiple stores. She'll wait there. She'll stay hours talking to everybody that comes to the door that buys her stuff. That's how the work that she's putting in to make it successful, in addition to what we do, behind the scene. But we want people like that to work with, not just somebody that wants their name on something and don't put the work in.
So what's next for you, man? Like, where do you see yourself? Like, your success has been enormous. Obviously, you have been disciplined along the way. You've figured it out. You've listened a lot, as well as you're a giver.
Yeah.
Like, one thing, and it's crazy that we have to highlight people who follow up and about their word. Like, it's really nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's something now, right? Because most people just say things, they don't do things.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're one from the conference. Thank you once again.
No problem.
For coming and dropping them jewels at the It's Your Time Business and Music Conference. Coming here, sitting with us to educate the audience, and that's just me. Like, you are truly a giver of information, and you about that life that way.
Yeah.
So for you, what's next? Like, where is your goals set? What do you ultimately see yourself doing?
It's a loaded question. You got another 2 hours?
Yeah.
I would say like if you go to my Instagram, like I put myself a tastemaker, right? So I've always envisioned myself as that guy, whether it's a cannabis product or just a regular consumer product outside of cannabis. Like, if I say this is a great item to buy, like, people will take my word as, he did his due diligence. He's authentic.
You're not standing by everything.
Yeah, yeah.
When you say it is so, the whole E.F. Hutton thing, because I've done all the work for you. Gotcha.
It ain't about, hey,
I'm not gassing.
He must have got paid for that. No, like, I am truly authentic about this. So I want to be able to be in a position and to have a platform where I can do that. So when I see myself, this might sound a little cheesy, but how Oprah has her favorite things, right? Whenever she said, hey, I like this, thing blows out the retail stores. Yeah. I want to be in a position where I have that ability to do that.
Got it.
So next step for me would be to put myself in a position where I can do that. So, doing things in media. So I was on a retail TV show years ago on the CW network called Hatch as the retail expert.
Get
I'm sure
outta
you knew
here.
that, but yeah.
Get out of here.
Had fun doing that, helping. It was like a kids-friendly Shark Tank that came on like Saturday morning. It came on, selected markets around the United States, but it was fun, right? And that was my entry point into TV, to really doing things to help suppliers not only get the right information based on insight knowledge that I have, working at these different places, but I really helped those people get products. Like, I was getting people's products in like Walmart.
But you know what's crazy listening to you? Yo, bro, you're a masterclass. So I think as you, like, if you think about the level of experience that you're speaking to, right? You're building businesses through products. Right? And I'm actually tapping the winners and the losers, right? So ideally, people, you should offer that to the public, or however people come to source you, whether it's Instagram, however you put the alert out. But that's exactly, if I'm hearing you properly, is what you do.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, like, I just heard you break down how cannabis works from start to finish. You broke down pretty much how the supply chains works for big corporations. That everybody now is a business in one capacity or another. But I might need to manage you or something, because at the end of the day, that's ultimately, if I'm hearing you properly, you're a masterclass. To be honest with you, you are truly a masterclass.
I appreciate it. But, and also, like, again, like the Black and brown community, right? Another big passion of mine is just, you go to like some of these communities where they don't have access to healthy foods. They got the nearest Whole Foods maybe like 20 or 30 miles away. So if there were a future goal for me is to kind of fix that problem and work with those local communities so they can have, access to those types of fresh farms. So like, just say, a different type of community market where all these different products in the local community are in, this community that may not have access to those things. So that's like another sort of passion project of mine, just being able to fix that problem, and then creating distributions to help more people, you know, Black and brown communities to get their products into, you know, more retailers. So another passion project of mine. There's so many different, you know, projects that I want to be involved in that I'm kind of working towards now. But, you know, in the day, like this cookie ship has been amazing, and, you know, my journey has been amazing. It's just, I feel like I'm not at my peak yet. There's still a lot of things that I'm doing, things that I'm going to be doing, and kind of planting those seeds right now. So whether it's a year or two from now, like, you know, I would say the world knows exactly who I am and my skill set. That's the goal.
So in parting words, what would you tell the next generation of Bay or young individuals like yourself, right? Like you were young Freddy at one point. What should they continue to do? What should they strive? How should they position themselves? How do they move forward?
You know, and I would say this, let me talk to the cart pushers right now at the grocery store. Because I was one of those people. And, you know, the sky's the limit, really. Like I said, closed mouths don't get fed. If you want to achieve something and that's going to put you in a position to serve a greater purpose, right? Like, don't feel bad that you might be in that low-level role. You have to connect with the right people that can mentor you, guide you, but you have to be upfront what your intentions are, where you want to go in your career. So I tell anybody, like, it may be hard and you may not see the path forward at that moment, but just keep working towards, you know, what you believe your calling is, and don't give up. Because there's plenty of times I wanted to give up, right? Being the only African-American in the room sometimes, and they expect you to react a certain way.
Quit.
Yeah, and I've almost done that several times, you know.
They want to see what you made of.
Yes.
Whether you trusted enough.
Yeah.
Right? Can we really trust them?
Exactly.
That's what all the controversy is about.
You know, but
I remember being called, yo, the N-word, bro. Like,
I never been called that, but
absolutely, dude was drunk.
Yeah.
We was actually in Napa Valley, and it was nuts because we had that little juice in us, and it got intense, and then he recalibrated and apologized.
Yeah, but that's
and
what
it's
you
like,
truly
now
think,
you
right?
know.
That's what you think.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you got to make those decisions in the moment. What are we really doing?
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, Mama always told us sticks and stones will break your own. But they told you that for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's for a reason, because it's not going to be an easy journey, and everyone's not going to like you.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't fall prey to that. You just can't fall prey to it.
So anybody that wants to move up, and I've been in situations where I'm at stores and customer walks over to be like, I want to talk to who's in charge. Like, it's me. Quit playing. Who's this white guy right? Who's this old white guy right here? Nah, he works for me. And they think I'm lying. Like, nah, he works for me. But people just assume, right? And I can't let that, you know, make me upset. So anybody that's looking to, you know, exceed in retail, be honest, meet the right people, express your, you know, what you want to do in the space, and then work towards it. And don't give up. It's going to be hard as hell. Some days you may not be able to sleep, eat, whatever, but, you know, in the day, like, there are opportunities in this space. Like, I mean, pushing carts, cashier, to running, you know, departments and, you know, territories, having a TV show in retail, right? Music, like Cannabis, the largest global recognizable cannabis brand in the world, and now I oversee retail for that business, all from, you know, working in retail. I would have, if you would say, hey, Fred, you're going to do all these things, this would have been like 20, 30 years ago. You say, hey, you're going to be doing all this, you know, in, you know, 20, 30 years from now. I'd be like, man, get out of here. Like, you know, I'm trying to see what's up with this record label, right?
Right.
But I would not change my story for nothing. And it's just about to get that much better, not just, you know, courage. And I always encourage people, like, you know, hit me up. You know, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. Like, you know, can I plug in my?
Absolutely, man.
So at Freddy Cameron. So
that's right.
At FreddyCameron. Hit me up if you have any questions about retail. Just, I don't know. I just want to be able to help as many people as I can, you know, and just put myself in the right space to be able to do that.
And I want to thank you so much for coming through, man. And hey, listen, he gave it to you. He gave you his socials. Use it if you wise. But this has been an amazing episode of On Impact, Life Leadership and Betting on Yourself with Freddy Cameron Jr., an amazing, amazing person. If you like this, subscribe below, Please put in a response, but most importantly, come on back and see some more amazing episodes.